Sewing the body to the head of the amigurumi is one of the things that you ask me the most in this channel. And believe me guys, I know how hard it can be to try to sew all the parts together without the right techniques. And it's extremely frustrating when you finish sewing and you see that you're not in the right place, the head is a little bit to the right or to the left, and you have to do it all over again. I don't want you to do that. So stay with me in this video because I'll teach you how to sew the body to the head or the head to the body, depends on the pattern, in a way that you'll only need to do it once. So now that we have the face here and we already sewed the ears and the muzzle, we will sew the head to the body. And this I consider one of the most difficult parts, at least is one of the things that people complain the most. And usually I'll prepare this part of the amigurumi, and while I do that, I'll keep talking to you. Usually when people complain about sewing the head to the body or the body to the head, it's because they don't pin it correctly, they don't position it correctly before sewing, and it escapes. So the first thing, I won't stuff it. I don't want, if you want to put stuffing just in the bottom of the amigurumi, that's okay. But I don't recommend you stuff it too much right now, because then you will start sewing and maybe this happens. You start grabbing stuffing and it's not very nice when it happens. Actually, it's really boring. So you can either put the stuffing at the bottom of the amigurumi like this with your fingers, or you wait a little bit more to stuff it, okay? So the first thing you have to do is you'll position the amigurumi like this. And that's why I said having pins is important. I will pin everything. I have these ones, and I guess that this is bigger. Let me see. Yeah, this one is way bigger. So I will use these pins here to place it correctly. I'll take the pin, and that's what I do. I pass the pin through the head to the body, and I'll put a lot so it won't escape. This one is doing nothing. You see that when I do this with my pins, it won't escape, right? This way, I already have it secured enough to start. Well placed? Good. So, what do we have to do now is pass the tapestry needle. Okay, now it's more focused. I'm so sorry for that. Hope I can buy a better camera for next tutorials. Pass the tapestry needle here in the following stitch. Enter here in the gap that is closest to the stitch, and pass the tapestry needle to the following gap, like this. Just be careful not to hurt yourself with the pins. Now you pass the tapestry needle again to the same stitch, and now you secured the first stitch. Enter the following, and that's it. You see that's almost invisible, the sewing. Another possibility to do it is to pass the yarn from the outside of the amigurumi. In this case, it's a bit easier when it comes to passing the tapestry needle, because here you have to like twist it a little bit to enter the tapestry needle from the inside. When we do it from the outside, it can be a little bit easier. You do it like this, and I'll teach you this other technique. You pass the tapestry needle like that, and remember that you have to use all the stitches, okay? Otherwise it will be twisted. Always pull the thread a bit harder. You see that I'm passing the yarn from the outside of the amigurumi. You see that we have the yarn here, and it does not look pretty. So we pull it to hide this yarn. And I think this is the easiest way to do it. Always pull it so you hide everything. And now that I got here very close to the pin, I can remove it so it doesn't bother me anymore. That's the procedure that you have to do. Let me see if I can show it like this a little better. Pass it here to the next stitch, like this. The yarn is here in the outside. It will be ugly if we see it, so you just pull it and you hide it. Just keep doing it. And another advice for you is, whenever you're sewing like this, always pause a little bit for a few seconds or minutes to observe if it's escaped, if it's still in the right position. You don't want the head to be like in the wrong position. You don't want it to move. So always observe, put a little bit further like this, observe if it's still in the correct place, and then you continue sewing. I will keep doing it. I will keep sewing the amigurumi, and I will come back when I'm almost in the end, because we still have to complete the stuffing part together. Okay, so I'm almost done. You see that I promised you I would come back when I reached this side here of the ears. I removed the pins, and now we can continue stuffing our amigurumi. You can put stuffing with your hands, or you can use the tweezers. The gap is still, the hole here is still big, so it's easy to put with the fingers. If it was smaller, we would start to use the tweezers. It's very cute, right? I'll put a bit more. And with stuffing, it's all about balance. You don't want it empty, you don't want it too stuffed, otherwise you will open the stitches. It's not good. So it's firm enough. I will continue sewing this amigurumi. I'll do it together so you can sew it with me. You see that when I pull the thread, I close this gap. The finishing is very beautiful. So I finished, pull the thread, and to fasten off, I will do the same technique that I did with you in other parts of the amigurumi. You leave with the tapestry needle at any point and you do the invisible knot, which is exactly what I am going to do right now. And guys, don't worry, please do not worry if your sewing is not perfect in the beginning, if you can still see the threads and you can see where the yarn passed. It's completely normal in the beginning, and in this course I will still teach you a trick that I used to do when I first started my amigurumi journey almost almost 10 years ago. Oh my god. And it's a very, actually it's easy, funny, but it's a very clever idea. Whenever you look at your amigurumi and you, oops, so sorry, and you're like, oh my god, my sewing is not beautiful, I don't like the way the head is attached to the body, it's ugly, and I don't want to do that again. Don't worry, if this is your first amigurumi, I will teach you a very special trick in the following lessons. But that's it. We are almost done with the sewing. If you want to keep learning how to crochet this beautiful amigurumi pig, just click the next video.